Okay, welcome back, and it's time to talk to the master of trends again. I look at this not like Gerald does. He's the guy, but I look at this and I see trends and I see movement. I see an inexorable flow toward the boot of utter domination, and that has got to be stopped. I don't know how we're going to do it, but it cannot be allowed to happen. Hello, Gerald, and welcome back. How are you?
How am I? My heart's broken.
Yeah. Mine too.
They suck the joy out of life.
We talked about that last time, and it's worth revisiting for our listeners who did not happen to hear you last time. This is a time in our lives, all of our lives, where if you are, I think, a decent person who is reasonably aware of what's being done to all of us, you'll wake up like I do, and I think like Gerald does, with a feeling in the morning, maybe when you go to sleep at night. I call it a feeling of dread. It's not fear. I don't fear this evil. I dread what's coming, though, because I know what the game is. And we talked about how dread has seemingly its number one objective is to suck the joy out of life. And it does.
No, they have. I mean, look, think about it. A young college kid. And what do you go to college for? I'm going there to get a degree. And I'm also going there because I'm finally leaving my house, and I'm going to go have a good time. I'm a wild young guy, and I'm going to go party. No, you're not. You're not going to party. You party and you get caught, you're going to get expelled, and we're going to keep your tuition. I'm not making this up. In our Trends Journal, we're putting down all these places that are busting kids for having parties. You're only supposed to go to school. Now you behave. I mean, you can't make this crap up. Yes, you can. No, you can. If you're a sick person, like so many are. So many gutless little slimy lowlives that follow the rules that from their leaders. And all these little people with their bad attitudes. And that's why they're principals and presidents of colleges and why they're politicians, because they suck their way up to the top. They suck their way up to the top. That's how you get there.
They don't get there by work. It's let's be honest. It's not what you know. It's who you know and how you play the cards, how you play the game. If you suck your way up to the top, you'll get there. In most cases, if you've got something to offer. Women, of course, always have something to offer. Men, they have to make it more on ability or alleged ability. But it's wide open.
Well, that's not true in the Catholic Church.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Sorry about that. You couldn't be more correct. Listen,
priests, I went to Catholic school.
Pedophilia, for God's sake.
Yeah. Well, I was lucky. I just had a nun that beat me up. May she rot in hell, Sister Marie Rosaire. I was a little kid, 10 years old, and she grabbed me by my little blue tie and started beating me up and slapping me across the ears and perforated my middle ear and broke my eardrum. Oh, yeah. And at that time, without going into a whole long story, I used to go water skiing on the Hudson River. And little kid, 10 years old, just a belt on. And I'm going over the wake of ships with a slalom ski and almost able to do 180. And I could never get my ears wet again for the rest of my life after she beat me up. And then she left me, and then she left me back, so I became the stupidest kid in the school. And people say, and then people say,
go ahead.
Then people say, oh, my God, that's so terrible, blah, blah, blah. I said, listen, I'm just thankful Father Foley was a ladies' man.
Oh, no,
it could have been a lot worse.
See, I really admire you for being able to look back on that much pain and grief and laugh at it, because that's what you just said is true. It could have been a lot worse, folks.
It could have been a lot worse. And now we have that now all over the world. You look what's going on. It's a freak show everywhere. Look what they're doing over in Australia, New Zealand, and those countries. Here, you look at the numbers, I'm going to take a quick look here and go to Australia. I think it's around 770-something people dead. Let's go. Australia. 797 dead. March, April, May, June, July, August, September. 800 people dead in 6 months. And when you look at the facts, and they're in the Trends Journal, over 400 of them are from nursing homes, elder care homes.
Sure. Yeah.
So, you lock down an entire nation?
Yeah. No, of course not. Lockdowns don't work. And
they don't work.
Europe now, no, they don't work. It's all
they don't work at all.
I just had a guest on from Australia. They're not in the state of Victoria. It's a state over there.
I know.
They've got people literally locked in their homes every night from 8 to 5 a.m., 8 p.m. You can't go out.
I know. They just eased it. Now it's 9 p.m.
Oh, how generous.
Oh, yeah, no, look, the scientific data showed, well, we could go to 9 p.m. now. We got the scientific data right here. It's the same scientific data that says when you go out to a restaurant and you're sitting down, whether it's inside or outside, you can eat without a mask on because the coronavirus stops at table length. And if you don't believe that, then you don't believe me, and I'm a low-life piece of crap bureaucrat, and I'll tell you what to do. Oh, and when you stand up, that virus hits you right away, and that's why you got to put that mask on. All right, they're making this crap up. As I said, these are the same low-life piece of garbage crap scum that had us hiding under desks in case an atom bomb went off.
That's right. Pull your knees up and kiss your rear end goodbye. That's what it was. These
are the same. Then when we got too big to go under the desk, they had us standing in high school against the wall in the hallway with our hands behind our head.
Yeah.
And then saying, if you see a flash, don't look at it. If I see a flash, I'll be dust by the time I blink my eye. These are the same imbecilic scum, the arrogant, low-life people that are destroying our lives around the world.
Are you going to write this up and put it in the Trends Journal?
It's in the Trends Journal.
Good.
It's in there.
Good.
It's in there. Look at it. Here, this is from the New Daily from Australia. You were just talking about Australia.
Yeah.
Victorian health authorities have warned of an alarming decline in people seeking care for other illnesses as the state endures its deadly second wave. So, Victorian hospitals for influenza were down 80%. Presentations for most common cancers are falling 30%. People are afraid to go out, and they can't. Strokes down 24%. They haven't gone to the hospitals. So now, you ready? National coronavirus toll of 797 and Victoria's toll of 710. This is who died in the last 2 days. There was a woman in her 50s, another in her 70s, 3 men in their 80s, and 4 women in their 90s. And you know what? I mean, you're in your 90s and your 80s, and you saw the CDC data that came out last week. 94% of the people that have died from the virus had 2.6 pre-existing chronic conditions.
Sure.
And you lock down the countries? You're locking young people aren't getting this.
It's so transparent. It's like a cheap manure comic book. It's that bad, and yet it's being imposed upon the entire planet. It's not just this country. They've had people in Argentina. I have friends there. This guy's parents have been locked in their apartment for 6 months in Argentina. And the number of people infected there has not in any way been impeded or impacted by the state-ordered, mandated house arrest policy. It didn't make any difference. Same number of people are infected. It's all about Sweden. Europe is using Sweden's policy now. Better late than never, maybe. But no one's daring to admit it.
No, they're not. They're not at all. Spain is locked down again. Go look at the latest thing on the young woman.
I got to be clear. These are not national government policies. local regional areas are using the Swedish technique where they can. They don't talk
many
about
of
it,
them, most of them in Europe are still doing they just put a curfew now back on in the UK as well. And Spain is locking down again.
Merkel,
France is locking down. But I agree with you.
All of them. Yeah, go ahead.
I agree with you. Sweden is the one. Here, you talked about Argentina, right? So I just went up and looked it up. All right, Argentina has 45,276 people. March, April, May, June, July, August, September. 10,907 people died. New York, how everybody loves the little boy Cuomo, the arrogant Andy Cuomo, the daddy's boy, born on third base, and thought he hit a home run like his brother Chrissy on the Cartoon News Network, CNN. These two arrogant little boys be nobody if daddy wasn't Mario. How the media and how the people love him. Well, how many people died in New York? 33,100. Oh, wait a minute. 33,100. Argentina, 10,907. Argentina has 45,276 people. New York State has 10 million. Excuse me, 19.5 million.
20.
19.5 million.
It's almost
and 33,000 deaths.
Yeah.
And Cuomo's a hero. And these people in Argentina are locked up for 6 months.
Cuomo's a hero, and he sent all those infected people to rest homes where the people were not infected. I mean, this guy ought to be up on charges and already convicted.
But as we were talking about, this is global. We have lost our rights. You know, tomorrow's 9/11. Oh, whoopee-doo. Remember 9/11? We're going to protect you from them terrorists. And now when you get on the airplane, we're going to stick our hands up your pants to see if you got a bomb up there. And we're going to put you through these radiation things to see if you're wearing any. And that lady in that wheelchair that's about 85 years old, she looks suspicious.
Very suspicious. A full body
Look how they suck the joy out of life after 9/11.
That's right.
And look at all the terror strikes that have happened in almost 20 years.
And the fun for America, Gerald, a lot of it was predicated on sports of all levels, high school, college, pro. They took that away, too. I'm not a big sports fan. Maybe our listeners are, I don't know. But they've taken as much of the joy out of life as possible. It's part of the plan.
I don't know what it's part of, but it's madness.
It's evil. It's satanic, is what it is.
It's evil. It's satanic as can be.
This is not human.
Nope.
No. This is not a human policy we're seeing. It is evil. The devil exists, and if you want to have some fun, look up online, if there are any left. YouTube had a lot of videos of big-time, what they call celebrities, including Bobby Zimmerman, otherwise known as Bob Dylan, admitting on video, right there, he admitted to Ed Bradley on a 60 Minutes interview, I sold my soul to the devil for popularity. This is big stuff. It's not a joke. Many of them, Miley Cyrus, there are many of them who have made that statement. So if Zimmerman, Dylan, did it long ago, many others have followed him since then, there's got to be something going on here. Maybe he was alluding to the evil elite that run the planet. They're satanic. It doesn't matter. They made a deal and they sold out for money, fame, and celebrity. There are lots of recordings about this. I've got them on the site somewhere. I should find them and repost them. These people just flat out say it. Yeah, I made a deal with the devil. Or I sold my soul to the devil. These are big-time entertainers. Or what they call entertainment. They're freaks is what they are. Not entertainers. They got no talent. It's all product.
No. Now, this is very sad. This is. I take a look, Jeff. I know you get the Trends Journal, but I just sent it to you in this minute.
Yes, thank you. I just see it. Yeah, I just got it.
Yeah, open up. Check out the cover. Another Anthony Freda work of art.
Okay, it's loading. Oh, you got one of the great artists out there. He's
Anthony
gifted.
Frida. These are New Yorker magazine covers, 2020. 21st century.
Yeah, I'm still loading here. It's loading. We'll get there. How long's he been with you now, Anthony?
Oh God, since about 2000 and I'm going to say 9. Yeah.
He's got a big history there. Come on, load up. I may have already seen it. I'm going to see it again though.
Oh no, it's a great one. And anybody listening, just go to trendsjournal.com, trendsjournal.com, and you'll see the cover. It says it all. It says it all. Anyway, meanwhile, while it's loading, on the market front, we're calling for a great market correction by the end of October. Between now and then.
Correction?
Yeah, in other words, it'll go, not a correction, a bear market.
Yeah, so that's the kind of correction I would think you meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's in fantasy land now. It's got to come at least part way down to terra firma with a correction. Agreed.
Yeah, and all they're doing is they're pumping in all this digital money backed by nothing and printed on nothing, and it's going on all over the world. And it's going to start running out.
There is in my view, there really is no such thing as what most people traditionally think of as money. It's a psychological symbol. It's nothing but paper and an idea. It's not backed up by anything. It's not even
paper. But you said it perfectly. A psychological symbol. That's very, very brilliantly said and accurately portrayed.
Oh, wonderful.
That's all
cover.
It is.
Yeah, wonderful cover. Oh, this is great. And I like Anthony, you hit it out of the park. See, with that black and white, he took it to it's like, what's that famous painting called The Scream? You know what I mean, don't you? It's just a scream.
That's the one. Yeah.
It's a face screaming. That's it. And he's got this thing on the cover with a face mask on it called Screaming Ninnies, and the eyeballs perfectly are 2 rolls of toilet paper. Oh, that is absolute wizardry. Good job.
Munch. That was the artist. Munch. Yes. Edward Munch.
That painting.
Who did The Scream?
It maybe is more symbolic of our times than most people would realize. That's a hell of a painting.
Isn't it brilliant?
Oh, yeah. Well, this cover
Isn't it brilliant? Oh, it's a riot. Go to trendsjournal.com. This thing is, this painting, this cover, I mean, it says, think about it. Jeff, I like being on your show. There's a virus out there, and everybody's very much afraid. They're running to the supermarkets, and the first thing they're doing is buying toilet paper. Come on, Gerald, you're making that up. People aren't that full of crap that they would go out and buy toilet paper, would they? That's ridiculous. How can you say something like that? No, I swear to God, this will be a funny story. We'll make it out that there's this terrible virus going out there, and the people in the fear, the first thing they do is run out and buy toilet paper. Come on, who would believe anything like that? You're out of your mind, Celente.
You're anything but out of your mind. I'm just going through.
But how could people ran out and bought toilet paper? I mean, it was the first thing they did.
I mean, it's like you're going to eat.
It shows you what crap heads they are.
Well,
and by the way,
cute.
Toilet paper's been going around. They found it in these 30,000-year-old caves, and when they find it with dinosaurs, they were using toilet paper back then. There was no other way to take care of yourself other than toilet paper. So toilet paper's been with us since the beginning of times.
Right. That's right.
Matter of fact, Moses came down with the 10 Commandments and toilet paper.
I would hope
that's
so.
a fact. And when Buddha was sitting on the lotus blossom, take a close look, there's a roll of toilet paper next to him. And in the manger, which Jesus did, there's toilet paper all over.
Oh, God. It's so bad. It's so bad. Here are the stories in this September 9th edition, which I hadn't seen yet. Trends on the economic front. Trends in the markets. All right, there's a major article. I like this one. In fact, I'm going to go take. Thank you for sending it to me. I'm going to try and get that after the show. Trends in Survivalism by Bradley Steiner. Okay, this is going to be a good one. I can tell by looking at it. The 2020 COVID-19 Trend Report, Trends in Geopolitics, Trends in High Tech, Science. This magazine is the most important magazine probably of our times. It's brilliant. It's what Time magazine might have been without the ads, but it didn't make it. Time magazine is garbage now. Back in a minute with Gerald. Hold on. This is another funny one. There's an article in the New Trends Journal. National debt highest in 75 years. The national debt is unconstitutional for openers. It's illegal. The Congress in 1913 sold us out. You all know the story. It's illegal. We had no right to give these people, these bankers, this group of 10 banks called the Federal Reserve, and neither federal nor reserve, the right to loan us our money at interest. None. That's the national debt, friends. We should just say, it's illegal, we renounce it. Of course, we never would, but that's what should happen. The debt has grown from $17.7 trillion at the end of March this year to $20 trillion. That's $3.2 trillion by the 1st of July. It's unbelievable. We're headed toward massive inflation here. I don't know. What do your people tell you? Merry Christmas? I don't think so.
Well, again, what we're saying is this is why you're going to see gold, and again, we don't give financial advice, but our trend forecasts on gold and silver have been dead on in terms of when it was going to rise. And as you well know, I was on, back in 2019 in June, we had forecast. It's right there in the trend alert.
Sure.
The beginning of the gold bull run, and gold was $1,332 an ounce, and now as we're speaking, it's about $1,950. So you think you made any money on that one? And then in June of this year, when silver was at $1,750 an ounce, we said silver was going to spike at a higher percentage rate than gold, and now silver's around $27 an ounce. So it went up $10 an ounce in just a short time, and we're saying silver's going to continue on that. Now, here's what's really important on two fronts. Every country virtually is doing what the United States is doing, and that is going deeper and deeper in debt. And they're pumping this money into the economies, into the small amounts into the people to keep them off the streets. And so this, paycheck protection program and all that stuff, and giving people these weekly checks, they're doing that all over the place. So in doing that, they're devaluing their currencies. Now, this is very important. The 20th century was the American century. The 21st century is the Chinese century. In this Trends Journal, we detail, both in the COVID sections that we write about and in the economic sections, of what China's doing and why they're going to move ahead as the world leader and the largest economy in the world. You mentioned about the banks. Central banks. The central banks, they're the gang. These are the people, and now you correct me if I'm wrong. After Jesus Christ drove the money changers out of the temple, and he became violent. So when people say, I don't like Celente when he raises his voice. I like to be very calm and take it up to you-know-what, and I don't fight. So anyway, here Jesus Christ becomes violent. The Prince of Peace becomes violent because of what the banks are doing, the banksters, and picks up a whip to drive them out of the temple. And then 3 days later, up on the cross.
Was it that soon? I did.
That soon is from what that's why I said if I'm wrong, and anybody listening, please correct me.
They didn't mess around, did they?
No.
Not even then.
And they're not messing around now.
No.
They're doing the same thing. They robbed us with the too big to fail. Remember that one?
Sure.
$29 trillion of our money pumped into the banking system from the Federal Reserve.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody wants really good information on the banking system, Wall Street on Parade with Russ and Pam Martin's the best. Anyway, now let's go back to the central banks in China and why China is going to be the world leader in 2021, in the 21st century. The government controls the banks. The government is the bank. The government's using the bank to build up the economy, not to build up their money junkies on Wall Street, not to make hedge funds bigger, not to make private equity groups and all of the hedge funds buy out all the mom and pops and make the bigger corporations bigger and create monopolies. No, they're not doing that in China. Over 80% of the people that are employed by China are employed by small firms. So you can hate the Chinese. I could care less what you think of anybody. But I'm only talking about the economic strategy. And the economic strategy is coming from Beijing. And the economic strategy is to put this money throughout much of the country as we can, so everybody's making more money. Now they have a new system they call it dual circulation. In other words, the money's circulating two ways. Not only exports anymore because they know of the uncertainty of the Greatest Depression and know that exports are going to decline dramatically. So now what they're building is a self-sustaining economy because the United States and Europe gave them all of our technology. They gave them all of our manufacturing. Go back and look at the chart. Anybody could do it. Look at China's GDP last 50 years. Mm-hmm. And you look at the line from 1970 to 2000. The GDP line is almost straight. And then it starts going straight up. When that low-life, murderous, slimy piece of crap, Slick Willie, along with Joe Biden, brought China into the World Trade Organization.
Yeah.
And it was formalized by George W. Bush. You know when? 2 weeks after 9/11 when nobody was paying attention.
That's the best time. Hey, look, this is all... By the way, before I get to my point, Slick Willie is going to go on the radio with his own radio show on something iHeartMedia, I think it's called. And that's going to start early in 2021. But believe it or not, Hillary is going to have her own radio show, a podcast they call it now, on iHeartMedia this year. This year. That's what the story said.
Media.
No heart.
No heart.
But they're both, the Clintons are going to be on radio playing a very
All right, now let's stop right there. Let's stop right there.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, they're both going to be on radio, iHeart. Bill Clinton, I think it was 1996, Federal Communications Act. iHeart used to be Cumulus. What Bill Clinton did was he deregulated... Oh, I
didn't know that was Cumulus. I know Cumulus. I didn't know they had morphed into iHeart. Okay, thanks.
That's right. So Bill Clinton in 1996, Federal Communications Act, along with Joe Biden, deregulated the communications industry and put all the small radio stations and all the small TV stations, of which there were thousands and thousands throughout the United States, put them all out of business, and now they're getting paid off.
Oh, this is the payoff.
It's the payoff.
Yeah, when he deregulated everything, that was the end.
What do you think they pay that slimy little piece of crap $300,000 and him and his wife to give a speech? You can hear him BS for free. $300,000 to say crap and now they're getting paid off. America, it's taken over. Going back to China.
Oh, they own the whole thing.
China's it's a whole different game.
Right. Yeah, they do.
I want to say one other thing about the COVID. Go back, if you go to our Trends Journal, you have a subscription, you go hit archives, January 28th, cover, coronavirus, 106 dead in China, and now next line was 1.4 billion still alive. What do you tell me 106 people died? It happened in the Wuhan province, right? And then they started closing down places. Mm-hmm. Do you know how many people died in China so far? And anybody could say they're cooking the numbers. Okay, let's say they're cooking the numbers. Let's say they're 50 times worse than they are. All right? How many people died in China so far? Now remember, this is where the virus broke out. How many do you think?
Officially, Jeff? Or my? Are you talking about guess. My opinion?
You guess. Yeah. No, the guess that they're putting out, the official number. Remember,
right
1.4 billion people, and this is where it broke out. So the official number is 4,634.
Yeah, I was going to say 10,000. Okay.
All right, now, they couldn't stop the Hong Kong riots. We were writing about the Hong Kong riots that broke out last June 2019, every week in the Trends Journal. They couldn't stop them. They couldn't stop them. But then the virus broke out. Oh, and they were building the hotels. Remember, in a week they were putting up hotels. Hospitals, because of the virus threat.
1 week.
All the media, all the fear. They locked down Hong Kong, and now they passed the security laws. Hong Kong is over, taken over completely by the Chinese. So the deal that they cut, that they would give them, autonomy, it's gone. And I believe they use this coronavirus as the reason to do it.
Of course they did. It's a lever. It's part of the plan.
A lever.
It's a plan.
So that to me was the Chinese plan.
Interesting and true. There are as we talked about, the number of stories per day is an avalanche. You try to sort them out, ladies and gentlemen. Try to even look at them all. It's overwhelming. That's part of the plan, too.
Yep.
Keep us absolutely drowning in news and information. Good luck trying to sort it out. I can tell you where you can go to get it sorted out, and that's the Trends Journal. Or you can go to Rense.com. I work 12 to 14 hours a day trying to make sure you have a chance, like Gerald does, to see reality. I won't even call it the truth anymore. The word's been so disgustingly ruined. It's reality. Here's this is a good one. I just see these things all the time. The federal government seeks to halt a civil lawsuit against Ghislaine Maxwell. Why? Why would the government do that? They say to continue it would adversely affect the criminal prosecution, they argued. They serve this BS up like it's going to fool people. It's a joke. It's just like Portland, Oregon. The communist government of the city of Portland, Oregon, Gerald outlawed the use of all forms of biometric face identification. Now, people were writing comments below that story yesterday saying, oh, glory be. The ACLU is happy. This is a big win for America's rights under the Constitution, their freedom and all that. No, they outlawed them so it would be almost impossible to identify the rioters that they're letting run loose every night in that city, in the streets, for over 100 days now. That's the real reason. That's why. This has nothing to do with your rights. Portland couldn't give a crap about your rights. So there you go. You got to read between the lines, and this audience gets it. Your audience gets it.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I honestly think between the people who read the Trends Journal and the people who read my site, I could not possibly do better in this day and age and under the stress and angst we're constantly being beaten with to get a hold on reality, I don't know where else they'd go. I mean, there used to be the Drudge Report, but now that's a flaming left-wing liberal platform. It's been completely morphed over since he sold it 2 years ago. So whoever bought him out...
Is that what happened, huh?
That's what happened.
I didn't know that.
That's
yeah,
what
I
I'm
noticed
told.
how it changed.
Oh, it's all left-wing crap now, most of it. So yeah, the word is that he sold out, and the new owners, we can guess who they are, flipped it over, and they've morphed it into a left-wing, progressive, socialist venue. All right, I'll be polite.
It's not left.
All right.
That's not left wing. Left is no left wing anymore.
That's right.
These are communists.
That's totally correct. It's a Bolshevik rag now, is what it is.
Yep.
Okay, and it used to be conservative, but that was apparently a setup. Now I'm still what I've always been. The site's been online for 24 years. It'll never change. It is reality. The best way that I and people, the few people out there who care, can coalesce and coordinate it and present it. Trends Journal, you're not going to get any better than that. I'm just looking through the articles again, this new edition. Urban exodus. Okay, you're right on front of that trend. This is another trend. Here's what the Trends Journal says. Urban exodus. It was a trend. We were the first to forecast in March. People leaving densely populated cities to escape the coronavirus and fear of rising crime rates. And we can add to that of riots. Absolutely. 48 of America's 50 largest cities have been the scene already, Gerald, of coordinated, instigated rioting by the communists. 48 out of 50. Go back and read 1917, how they did it to Russia, and you'll understand what they're doing to us. Back to the story. Almost half of San Francisco area dwellers able to work from home would like to leave the Bay Area, according to a poll by Zapier, a tech company supporting remote work. Many are leaving already. Home sales in Lake Tahoe, an outdoor recreation and vacation spot 3 hours from the Bay Area, has doubled. The home sales have doubled this summer compared to last year. In July alone, the agency sold, one question there, an agency, sold 431 houses compared to 167 last year. What's it tell you? One couple left a 700 square foot San Francisco apartment for a 4-bedroom Lake Tahoe house. Their mortgage payment now is what they paid in rent in the city. Same thing. So people are getting out. And Gerald, who is leaving? The dummies? No. Those who are smart enough to take their skills and get the hell out and try to earn a living in a safe environment for them and their loved ones and families. That's who's leaving. And the moving companies, U-Haul Rentals. Here's one for you. People in Southern California want to get out so badly, there are no U-Haul trucks. Penske trucks, I said, they're rented, they're gone, they're rented. People are driving or flying to Phoenix, Arizona to rent a truck to drive it back to Southern California to pack up their stuff and get the hell out of California. That's how far they're willing to go to get a truck. These are bad symptoms. It's over.
And not only that, then you look at the cities are drying up, and what's going to happen with commercial real estate?
Oh, they're all going bankrupt. They can't make their payments.
Exactly. A study just came out today. There are 55,000 on another level vacant apartments in New York City. I'm sending you something else when you talk about again.
That's a ton. Wow.
Yeah. We said this in the Trends Journal in mid-March. This was going to happen. I just sent you something to show you. This is from Bloomberg. Out of 81 cities in America. You know where the prices went up the most?
Tell me.
Kingston, New York. I just sent you the email.
Oh my, that's pretty amazing. For those of you who don't know, that's Gerald's hometown.
Yeah, and if you want to put Kingston, New York, most historic Four Corners, I own 3 of those pre-Revolutionary War stone buildings, and I bought them to launch Occupy Peace because the seeds of democracy was sown here, and I fight for peace. I'm not a real estate guy. I bought them for the beauty of what they are and what they represent. But what's happening is all these New Yorkers are coming up, and they're not my kind of people. And because
they're buying
they,
into Kingston.
They're all big time, big billionaires. Billionaires. There are about 5 billionaires here already.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy, he keeps buying stuff and doesn't do anything. But anyway, they're all coming up here, and I don't like the vibe because with these, they call them liberals, but they're not. They're Soviets. Because if you don't believe what I believe, and you're not doing what the government tells you to do, then you have no right to think for yourself. That's the kind of people we're getting up here.
You know why I left? You know why I left Santa Barbara? It's beautiful. Same thing. L.A. money.
Same thing.
Celebrities. They all came up there and started buying in, drove the prices up triple with their arrogant left-wing socialist Bolshevik attitude. I got the hell out. I know.
Yep. And
no
again,
way.
it's not left-wing. It's not left-wing. This is fascist wing.
It's
there are no
communism.
liberals. The word liberals is dead. It's fascist, communist, Soviet. Again, one of the covers of the Trends Journal.
Good for you.
USSA, United Soviet States of America. So anyway, that's what's going on, and this thing's going down big time because now they're selling the second wave. They're putting more fear. I watch people. I can't believe it. People in their cars with the windows rolled up and they got masks on.
Dutiful
I'm at night.
obeyance.
I'm sitting in the garden at night, and it's 10 o'clock at night, and I watch people walk by the street totally empty with masks on. The virus is going to jump out of the tree and get you.
Oh my God. Oh no. Oh, this is awful. I ran a very good piece the other day about. In fact, it's up on the homepage, on the bottom big art deal. You'll see it. It's 3 screens worth of text. And it does tell the story about what masks do to people. And they, the controllers, know exactly what it does to human beings, to their soul, to their consciousness, to their psyche, to their self-esteem. They know what it does. Here, let me read this to you. 2,300 years ago, long before Islam, Arabs discovered that forcing people to cover their nose and mouths broke their will and individuality and depersonalized them. It made them submissive. That's why they imposed on every woman the mandatory use of a fabric over her face. Then Islam turned it into the woman's symbol of submission to Allah, the man owner of the harem and the king. Modern psychology explains it. Without the face, we don't exist as independent beings. The child looks in the mirror between the ages of 2 and 3 and is discovered as an independent being. The mask is the beginning of deleting individuality. He who does not know his history is condemned to repeat it. The mask has been known for a long time to do this to people. It's not new. I'll send this over to you.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, there's some great Anthony Frida artwork in the Trends Journal. One of them, Sadomasochism. You got to look at that one.
Oh, I'll check it out. Great. What a wit. Good job.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gerald, as always.
Thank you, and thank you for all you do, man.
Thank you. Talk to you soon. Okay. Gerald Celente. Here's another one. The real conspiracy theorists believe that the government cares about them. The media would never mislead or lie to them. And the pharmaceutical industry that makes billions off sickness wants to cure them. Those are the real conspiracy theorists. Indeed.